All right, everybody, welcome back. Garrett Larson and Barry again for one last match from U.S. Nationals for everybody to watch. We've got the final match for all the marbles. Matt Scott as the higher seed. I believe Matt was actually the 1 seed.
No, Andrew Moss was,
yeah.
Yeah.
Matt was the 3. I don't remember if he was behind or ahead of B. Fred. Matt Scott as the higher seed, whatever he was, chose sides to play first. He's choosing to start with his dark side, which is First Order Reigns versus Hayes and his Rescue the Princess.
If you're with us for the last round, we'll be seeing the same matchups again.
Yeah, and honestly, the question I think is going to become, is Matt's at all different than Brian's? And is Matt going to pick a different line to take? Because I know chatting with Brian after that game, he felt like there's a couple things he could have done better in terms of just trying to push more damage through, which would have made that second game matter a lot more. Like, if he had knocked another 5 or 6 damage off, Hayes would have had to play that second game very differently.
Yeah. So it might be a matter of finding Decree again.
Yeah, I think if he can find Decree Virtual and raise that damage just a little bit, like, things will get interesting. So
I'm sure he got some coaching in between rounds.
Very likely. And Hayes going with the same start, so he's not. Yeah, we're good. Thank you. Our active judge Phil had to check in because he is the absolute king of active judging and does an amazing job. Hayes has menace phase in his opening hand.
Oh, that seems unfair.
Yeah, that's congratulations, Hayes, on your victory by, I'm going to say 23.
Well, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, that's if Matt does not have Hosine Prime and he doesn't get Decree right away, I think Hayes wins this very comfortably. And it's going to be the exact same drain race. And I think Hayes, with the menace fades in opening hand, has to feel very comfortable about just, I'll ignore you and spread. Like, I will just
go wide, go fast.
Yeah, just again, can I slate weapons for either he didn't get a slate weapons or he doesn't need to use it to go get somebody. There is another Jakku system. It did look like Matt had another system there. So Matt might have. So Matt's going Finalizer and Hux, which is the full 9, so he's not going to be able to move in front of the fleet. Oh yeah, he can, because he can drop him at Jakku and move. That's right. Adding the Jakku allows him to do that, because it'll move for free. And it'll give him a bow pull with Hux right away. And
is that the typical move for this deck, or it's just he whiffed on the other one?
If you whiff on Dolphay or the Supremacy, and you're probably running 4 to 5 Dolphays, maybe even up to 6, plus your Supremacy, like, if you get the Force, Finalize your plus Hux is a fine play.
Okay.
Because it gets you your bow pull. Hux will then get you your Stormtrooper right away. Like, okay, so now I go get Phasma if you're not playing the Pull a Captain card. Or if you're playing the Pull a Captain card, you might use your lightsaber pull on one of the FNs.
Right.
Either 9s or the other guy. But no, I think it's a fine play from Matt. It's a perfectly reasonable way to go about your turn, and then you get the 2 activation for moving to Dakar. Like, this is a very reasonable turn. Looks like he drew a sight.
Yeah.
Like, so his deck is.
I mean, that's good, so he can play it when he wants to, right?
Yeah, like playing it when you can take it is good. Although I'm not sure that's the Salt Plains. Like, that sure looked like it might be the other crate site. So these might actually be very different first order builds, which is gonna impact things. And it also, with it being finalizer instead of supremacy, changes the math a little bit on if Hayes wants to stack one, because he's going to lose 2 either way.
Right.
If you stack one, maybe Matt chooses not to pay 3 to drain for 1, and then you end up ahead where he might have paid 3 to drain for 2. Like, those are calculuses I think Hayes will have to make. And again, that's part of what makes these drain racy games interesting, is determining the math. So Hayes went to get a sight. I think he's looking. Does he not have?
There's a sight.
Yeah, no, the sight's in his hand. I'm wondering if
he's counting the rest of the.
Yeah, what else he has in there, and I'm wondering if. Okay, there's the R2. So I was wondering if he was hoping that if he was going to think about drawing into space and trying to contest a different way.
Yeah, choosing a different site, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so he actually, yeah, he's not throwing down the 2-2. I think he's trying to avoid, again, we talked about it a couple times now because we watched a lot of first order decks. That deck can be a little force hungry. Like, there's a lot of turns where you're wanting to spend a lot of force, and it doesn't always work.
So, assuming the deck is at least similar, right? Maybe Matt should try and take a line where he stacks up one of the Death Star sites, maybe the 2/2, to avoid that drain, rather than committing all his characters to his site.
Again, I think it depends significantly on what other locations and stuff he's playing. Like, if this is very different from Brian's deck, it changes your line significantly.
Yeah.
Because, especially if it's different enough and he can get Hayes thinking early that it's not, like, he might have an advantage there. So there we see the Obi-Wan with the uncivilized blaster. So Hayes' opening hand must not have been very good. I guess he blasted Arcade, free ride combo. He didn't have a spy, and he didn't have either of the bots, slight weapons.
Yeah.
Like, that's and he's not putting out battle plan. So I guess he's not putting out battle plan, and he's just forcing Matt to play it. And, like, if I'm Matt, I think you're fine with, okay, I'm going to play battle plan, and I'm probably going to play ultimatum, and that's about it. So the Obi alone there, I mean, he's got the blasted arcades, so he can do what he needs to do. Whatever, I don't know what Phil's doing real quick here. Looking at something in a deck.
I think Hayes might actually have the wrong Obi slip, where it says it's deploy 6 instead of 5.
Okay.
So they might have just been checking on that.
That could be. It could be an older slip, but then, it's played. You still play it correctly. Because I know, like, one of his free ride combos was an old slip, and it's like, well, it's still valid. Like, it is still a legal slip, so. Alright, so Matt drains for 1 for free. Again, I think just forcing Hayes to play. Hayes is forcing Matt to play Battle Order, and I think that's.
It's probably a smart idea in this matchup.
I think it's fine. The thing is, I don't think there's any other shields that Matt's going to be potentially playing. I don't know if we've heard a lot of echo, Chris. I'm willing to blame you, just because. Like, as just a general rule, I'll try moving a little closer to the mic. There is ambient noise in the background you might be hearing. There's still lots of stuff going on here at Heroes and Games in Columbus, Ohio. They do, they've got another couple tournaments going on. We've got some folks playing some Star Wars Unlimited games. Like, they got a lot of stuff going on here, and good for them. So
yeah. They're looking at the text on something.
There is some
Looks like an
echoing that
Obi-Wan.
wasn't present earlier. What am I? We have all the same. Alright, I'm trying to move my microphone farther away from Barry's and see if that helps
Does this any better?
some. We'll see what we can do here. Guys, I didn't change any of the settings because I'm not that smart, so. Oh, I love you guys so much. You have no idea how much fun I have doing this stuff. All right, yeah, maybe we just had the mics a little too close together, and that was just enough to be obnoxious. So, all right, so yeah, that's the other crate site. That's not the Salt Plains, and we see Matt dropping the shuttle with Lieutenant Tambris, whatever his name is, and that should come down for 3 from First Order Navy. And actually, it'll come down to 2 to Jakar. So I'm not sure I wouldn't have paid 3 to put it at crate, and then done the move to Dakar, activate 2, and then move to 1. Mike, I think we tried that yesterday, and if we're far enough away, it doesn't pick up nicely, and it doesn't work with just 1. So we're going to stick with 2, and we're just going to hope this works. We're going to do our best and go from there. Our tech support team is around. All right, so he's going to grab Kylo with the shuttle. All right.
So is that the steadfast in space then?
You know what?
Or what's the
No, that's
new
the
ship?
Supremacy.
The Supremacy, okay.
Yeah, that's the Supremacy. So he did the Supremacy with Tambris, and then shuttle. Then played the shuttle to get Kylo and get the bow pull. And yeah, I mean, Pat makes a valid point. Double Garrett, double Barry, like that's like double McGum. Like you just, you know.
I thought it was as good as playing 2 clashes. Yeah.
That seems like a totally reasonable thing to do, and you know, they're the Supremacy, which moves for free when moving toward 2-tracked fleet. So Matt's set up well, and you know, the thing is, he occupies the crate site. Well, he doesn't have 2 guys in anywhere, so he's not going to get the drain bonuses. But it's not the Salt Plains, so
It's also not flipped yet, right?
yeah. So in theory, Kylo's perfectly safe there, and you're not super worried about it. But you do want the Salt Plains at some point, because once Hayes flips, he's going to start retrieving if you're not starting battles. And I do think Matt has the Salt Plains. It's just a matter of, can he find the decree, and does he have Hosian Prime? Because Hayes is being slow playing it a little bit and not putting Menace Fades out right away.
I mean, I wouldn't play it until it's in effect, right? Unless you just need space in your hand to avoid shields.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I wouldn't just play it, because the reality is you know you're going to be playing it, you know you want it out, and you don't want to...
It telegraphs what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but like, Matt's going to get a +1 from the Finalizer right now.
But like, you have to occupy 3
No,
sites.
the Finalizer gets an automatic +1 at Episode 7 systems.
I'm just saying, like...
Oh yeah, Menace
Hayes
Fades, he doesn't
to
have
fulfill
Menace.
Fades, right?
Yeah. But like, I think you gotta, you know, Brian most assuredly told Matt this is coming.
Right.
Like, so you're not really surprising him that you have Menace Fades, and Matt's not going to, like, Matt's going to set up the same way he would set up. Like, if you play Menace Fades too quickly, you give Matt the idea, hey, I don't need to put multiple guys down. But, like, because you can go light in space, you can always end up, especially with there being 2 crate sites, if there's going to be any sort of battling going on there, you can, you know, slide the ships around to shuttle guys down and not have to worry about it. So there we see, grab a sight, grab a 3PO, grab a Leia's gun, which also tells me he's going to free Leia here in a second. And that all makes sense. So Yep, there's a Luke, so I mean that means I think Kylo's safe. Like I think Matt can put out the salt flats and just, put Kylo there and say, all right, let's make this happen. So he's going to want resistance. And, hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake Beefred made. Like, in theory, if Hayes doesn't move anyone, you'd contemplate, like, Coward, but I think Coward would be such a bad play.
It's not good long term here.
Yeah, like, you don't have a shield puller. I don't think you have an extra way to pull shields, so I think Coward would be a bad play, but I could see, maybe not in the finals of the national tournament, but I could see the thought process of, hey, this will save me this one drain. And how much does that resistance save you, especially if he can get Decree non-V? Like, if it's in the deck, because at this point, I do think the decks are somewhat different. Like, they're certainly not the exact same, because I don't think Brian had that other crate site, and, like...
Not that I saw, yeah.
So... There we see Leia moving over, Luke coming over with her, and Obi moving over to C-3PO, so he covers the two... Yeah, but Coward, like, he got one retrieval off. That's... I wouldn't have put out Coward to potentially stop one retrieval either. It's just not impactful enough.
So Hayes is taking the line of doing damage versus preventing?
I think that's the right play. You're not really... There is no prevent damage for Hayes until he gets Menace Fades in effect.
Well, you could have had it, right?
Yeah, but like you talked about, he could have had Menace Fades, but it right now is only going to save him one force. So if he can get Matt to commit multiple first-order characters to each location first, it maybe holds up a little bit better. So we'll see. All right, so is that side a drain +1 with Kylo? All right, that could... Like, Hayes is a turn behind on what he was. The Cavern has a +1. Okay, so then it was 2 drains of +1. So then Hayes needs to get Menace Fades out in effect, and Matt's probably slightly less concerned about some of the other stuff because your goal is just to, you're causing the damage. You've already got the +1s. Even if he doesn't play Menace Fades, he can drop resistance and cap those at 2 anyways. So there's no huge benefit to getting them to be more than 2. So I'm kind of wondering what he does here. It looks like there's a Pride in his hand. There is another ship, but I'm not sure which ship it is.
It should be the one that equalizes the icons, right?
Is it the Steadfast or is it the Full Matrix? I'm not sure. I think that's Steadfast. That's the one that equalizes icons. So then putting it at Crate, it turns it into a drain of 2. Because Crate adds an icon when you occupy it. And then it would add the icon and then duplicate the icons.
So would it be a 3?
It would be a 3 if he put 2 guys on it.
Okay.
So Crate's only 1 icon at the start. So Crate is 1 icon, and then it adds an icon if you occupy. And then the Steadfast would equalize it, so it'd be 2 icons. So, and we see Snoke going to Crate.
He's going wider, faster than we saw Brian go.
Yeah, and I think that's a different deck. Brian's was all the Trooper Assault stuff. This is, I think, a little more traditional. This is much closer to the deck I played yesterday, which I think has a chance. And there's Decree. So now you need to move Kylo over and then shuttle the shuttle up. Interestingly enough, have them stop for a second.
Why?
Because the shuttle is taking off. It's not shuttling.
Right.
Shuttling is free. Taking off costs force.
Did he not spend one?
He did not spend one. He spent one to move Kylo. He didn't spend one to move the shuttle. So we're checking in. Oh, the shuttle takes off for free. All right. There we go. Yep, someone in chats. Yep, the shuttle itself takes off for free. Okay, thanks, Chris. Yeah, that's... We just wanted to make sure we were doing things right. I'm sorry, I'm trying to take initiative and prove that I care that everything is done correctly. But yeah, no, that's good. It takes off for free. Everybody's happy. Interesting, though, the shuttle being up there, if he didn't take it into the Steadfast, it no longer equalizes icons because Steadfast that needs to be alone. So if he did not embark once it took off, if it can't hold the shuttle, it does not equalize icons, and he's giving up. I mean, he's giving up a drain of one there, but at the same time, like, the shuttle would have been a bad target without that. But yeah, I mean, Hayes is going to have to set up menace fades here and there. Matt did put out resistance, so Matt learned from what B-Fred did a little bit wrong, and he did exactly what I was talking about. He's got two guys on the supremacy. He doesn't need a guy. The dark deck is the new First Order Reigns deck, Eric. So it's yeah. It's put up a showing. I mean, we had, I think, 3 of them in the top 8, or we had more than 3 in the top 8, I think. It's all First Order stuff, so it's the new First Order Star Destroyers, it's First Order characters, it's Kylo, it's Snoke. Internally on our team chat, we called it Map 2, because it's kind of the same. It's lots of First Order guys, but it is a little bit different.
First Order guys, right? Doesn't it limit?
Yeah, I believe you can only play First Order, unlike Map that allows you to do some other stuff, just no Dark Jedi. Like this one is just First Order. So it does Star Destroyers and First Order ships and walkers. And it drains +1 everywhere once you're flipped, it drains +1 everywhere you have 2 First Order characters, and there's Menace Fades. The decree is good. If Matt doesn't have Ocean Prime, I still think Hayes wins relatively comfortably, especially if he did not embark the shuttle. Can the Steadfast hold the shuttle? I'm not even sure. All right, let me see. Take a look here on the Holocron app. Steadfast can hold 2 starfighters.
Sounds like it could.
Kylo Ren's command shuttle is a starfighter, so yes, it could hold it. I wonder if Matt said, hey, I'm willing to risk this drain not happening, or this drain, a drain of 1, just to avoid in case you're going to come down with, like, Corrin on ship and start a battle, and, like, then you don't get Battle Destiny, but you don't lose any. Like, if Kylo's ship is embarked on the Steadfast, you don't draw Battle Destiny, and if Corrin draws a 6, you'd lose the Steadfast either way. If he draws less than a 6, the Starfighter on the Steadfast does nothing. And there we see Hayes
trading Han's blaster and something else for Han.
Yeah. So I'd say that's aggressive, but I don't think it really is. I think that's the right play, and he may have more than... I don't know if he has more than one Han's blaster. Like, unfortunately, giving up the blaster is...
There's a way to get it back, right?
Yeah, well, I think he also doesn't have any more I don't think he had any more cards in hand.
He doesn't really seem to need another blaster right now with Decree out anyway.
Yeah, like there's no ups.
He's gonna
Your ping
want
is
it
one.
if someone attacks in the Han, but that's about
I don't think Matt's going. I mean, I guess you could go at him with.
There's a Phasma.
Oh, there's Phasma. So Matt's at least making it seem like you might go after him. Yeah, Menace Fades is really good. This is so. Eric, in our team chat, I mean, I know you work with your brother, but like the team chat we were in, we'd kind of said we think Rescue the Princess is basically just a it beats First Order Reigns. And then I played it yesterday and we played around with it, and I think if you put in Hosen Prime so you can shut down Menace Fades and you've got Decree Virtual, you actually stand a decent chance of outrunning them. But it is just a straight math game at that point. It's just a straight damage race, and how much can you do? And yours is cheaper to do because you're satisfying battle order, battle plan, and they are not. So Hayes putting out aim high is a little interesting. I guess Phasma will retrieve a trooper if she wins a battle. I struggle to see how a battle goes off again. Well, I guess Hayes only got like 2 cards in hand. And he just drew them because I think losing Han's gun, I do think, is not ideal in there. So there's the drain for 1. Drain for 1. See how many Hayes loses. Yep, Hayes only loses 1 to the drain at Dakar. So, yeah, I do think Matt missed a chance there to bring it in. Well, if he loses this game by 1 or he loses the entire match by 1, that's...
We'll go back to that.
Yeah, Pat makes a valid point. If you throw Phasma at the Death Star, you don't get the bow pull. And he's only got like 3 or 4 cards. Like, he hasn't really lost any troopers or anything yet. So I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. All right, so he's spreading out. So he's not battling. He's spreading way out just to try and he's trying to maximize his drain. Without Hosian Prime, he's still, I think, behind in the drain race, and that's a problem. Like, you don't want to, you need to not be behind in that race because you both put a lot of cards on table. And there he moves the Steadfast to Jakku, ship docks to put a pilot on each of them, and then I assume we'll see the Supremacy then move. Yeah, so the Finalizer moves to Crate, and then the Supremacy moves to Dakar for free from Jakku, and Matt activates 2. So Matt is just doing everything he can to cause damage and, minimizing how many cards he puts in play while still making sure he can't get jumped by a R2 and Red 5 plus Corrin.
We did see an R2 and Red 5 go off the top earlier, so...
Did we?
We did.
I thought that was last game.
No, we saw it this game too.
Okay.
I think it was on this last turn.
All right. So, yeah, I think Matt might not be planning to deploy anything else unless Hayes goes at him. Like, at this point, you're taking drains of 2/2/2 and pings of 2 total. So he's draining for 8, and you're draining back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and no pings. But your drains are cheaper. And Hayes may or may not have cards on table.
For what?
Or more cards on table, I mean, just in the math. It's probably close. So, Bobby, I don't know.
It is close.
Okay, yeah, there is a Tauntaun Skull in there, so Matt might have a fairly similar build to Beefheads. We might have just not seen some of those cards hit the table.
Well, they didn't have to, stop to re-sleeve everything before they started.
Yeah, I will say, I think this is showing that First Order needs to go with Hosian Prime instead of Jakku, or you do 4 systems, but considering you can only play 5 ships total, 4 systems seems...
What can all the ships get between Hosian Prime?
Everyone but the Supremacy. So the Supremacy is Hyperspeed 2 printed, and Bout of the Navy adds 1. So Supremacy cannot go from Dakar to Hosian Prime. All of the other ships are printed 3, so they add 1 from Bout of the Navy, so that gets them to 4, so they can go there. The biggest upside to Hosian is
the Menace Fades text.
Well, it's Menace Fades, but also you can only move the fleet one way because the tracked fleet only moves 3 hyperspeed. So it has to go to crate, and that's it. And then you can do what you need to do there. Like, it's easy enough to lock it down by just putting 2 ships out, but it changes it also makes sure you have a guy at crate that next turn to then activate the extra 1. Like, I think there's enough upside to it that the free move from Jakku is just not as impactful. Like, I think trading Jakku for Hosian Prime is the winning play if you think RTP might exist. So Hayes just drained, and now he's picking some up. Moves the Uncivilized Blaster from Obi to Han. Okay. Make the right play, make the best play. That makes sense. I don't think it is going to change the math.
There's a Trooper Assault in the Lost Bottle too, so...
Yeah, I mean, Trooper Assault gets canceled straight by Han at Han site, so I don't know where you're planning to go battle.
You can battle into the 3PO site. It's Luke, right?
Yeah, that's Luke. That might be the...
I think the battle just gets canceled, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, he's got the It's a Trap.
I don't know what Matt might have up his sleeve here, but
if Matt does that, he gets
just trying to trade drains.
Ping with Snoke. I think you're... The one thing I could see, depending on how low Hayes' cards are, because Hayes has a bunch in hand right now, would be something sort of crazy like, I'm going to drain as much as I can and see what I can get out, and then just throw a trooper from Lost in front of one of them, start the battle with Snoke, and then just take the overflow.
Yeah, just
to end the battle that way.
So many cards in hand.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, a question of how many. Because he's still doing 6. It's. So, did get the drain of 2 through as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he one? He's not draining at the last. He may be not draining at one place. It looks like he only drained 4. 4 spots for 5. I think it's probably figuring out the math of, do I deploy anyone else? So the upside of Han is you don't have to worry about Han firing in control phase because it's a different blaster. But you do still have to worry about the mess. And I think that's a concern any place you put guys.
Over there, for sure.
Yeah, there's guns at every site.
2 or 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, so. He's got enough that it's going to be serious. But I think you might be right. I might go to Luke's site.
There's a first strike in there too, so you could try to swing some damage.
Yeah, And there he is going to get one last drain in. So yeah, he did.
Do you think the hindsight is enough to? Oh,
Looks like Hayes has got
counting
like
it
about
up.
16 down. So
He's gonna do what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like
Yeah,
this is going to be closer than Brian's game. Like Matt got more damage going quicker and spread to maintain more damage, and then the decree keeping, saving him already like 4 force is helping quite a bit. He's just got to decide here, is it worth deploying guys to battle? So the problem with the Han site is Han makes Sorry About the Mess even better because he adds 1 to the total as well. So, and he himself adds because of the number of something with troopers. What does? I was trying to remember. Yeah, Han's weapon destiny draws are +1 for each trooper here. So if you put a trooper in front of Han, he is hitting anything.
Applek's going down to the Luke site.
All right, and then just save 1 and you block the drain. If he attacks Applek, you retrieve, and I think that's a perfectly reasonable play. You just cut his damage to 6. And that gives you another turn, and you've got to, I got to imagine he's got a Gick. And depending on if Hayes decides to do something insane like start a battle, he could be looking at like, okay, well, I'll retrieve this 4 or 5 with Applek, and then skull Mitkow to play for another 7, and all of a sudden Applek's power, 20 something real quick.
There's another trooper assault.
Yeah, and there's the drain of 2. Looks like he might be sitting on a turn it off. I think there went Phasma, which makes sense. I think you're not going to get Phasma in play at this point. There's another drain of 2. So there went a first order trooper, and there's the trooper assault from hand because he says, well, if I'm going to Applek, I want to get that 5 back in power. And here's a 4. I'm going to see, okay, Ray. All right, so he didn't have the Sorry.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Which I don't know how this ends up, where this ends up battle-wise. Like, I think he's just going to end up losing Ray and be fine with it. But it does. I don't think he can overflow Matt here.
Seems unlikely. Does the gun make forfeit 0?
It does, but you're still talking. So if he starts this battle, Applek retrieves the 5, so he's power 11. Draws a battle destiny. Let's assume that's a 4, so he's up to 15. Skulls out Mitaka, which makes him another 7. So he's at 22, and Hayes is at.
Hayes is adding a
3,
destiny?
7, 8.
No, that was a draw.
Plus a destiny to power. Like, Hayes' guys just aren't that powerful. Like, you add a destiny to power, Ray adds 1 to the total, but like you're still. Like, I'm not even sure you need the skull. Like, I think it might be worthwhile, but.
Doesn't look like is he going to play it? Does he have one?
Yeah, he's got one.
There it is.
And there goes the Tauntaun skull. And we see the grab, so that'll, add another 7 because Hux is out. So he makes some destiny +1. And there's the 4 for destiny power. 3 for battle destiny. There's a 5. So, yeah, we're at 10,
So
17, 23.
Applek have like 20 power there?
Yeah, Applek should be 23 by my count. Because it's 5 for the trooper assault, 5 for the battle destiny, 7 for the skull, and then Applek's a 6. So
Applek's
Like Appleck alone is 23, and Hayes is at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. So Hayes is down 12. Like Ray covers 7, he might have to lose more. By my math, like that went really well for Matt.
That was, I mean, so like, was it worth it? He lost the card that he played.
Okay, I
And
guess
he lost,
I thought he should have lost more.
one from getting shot by a blaster, right?
Yeah, it feels like he should have lost more there, but I'm not gonna.
So, I mean, maybe that didn't do anything
Okay,
for him.
23 to 16 is 7. Oh, okay. I guess I'm. Oh, Luke's blaster might do something reducing power or something too.
Well, Appleck's only a 5, right?
Yeah, that's fine. So Ray covered, which is fine. I mean it. So
it cost him. It cost him though what, like 2 cards
to block the drain of 2, but he also forced Hayes to put out Ray and take another card into hand.
Okay.
So it cut something there. Yeah, Hayes is below 20, and I think Matt's going to drain. Matt's going to pour out another 6 in drains, and that might be all he does is just.
I mean, yeah,
pour out 6 in drains.
It very much seems like he's playing just for the match.
So. Yeah. Do we know what that last card in his hand did? Is that the first strike?
I think it is the first strike.
Okay. Because I think he might want to, like, he's going to check the math, I think, and.
Although he has nowhere to battle. Like, if he only has.
Well, he could throw a trooper from Lost.
Oh, from Lost, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is like, if he is down to the point where Hayes is going to kill him next turn.
Kill yourself.
Throw the trooper from Lost, play first strike, battle, get the double ping off of first strike and Snoke.
Right.
And then just take the overflow, and it's not as good as drawing up in the sense of it adds more cards to your loss pile, but it does probably maximize the damage he can put out. And I think that's what he's going to have to figure out, is how much can Hayes do next turn. Because if Hayes can pay, if Hayes has 9, he's going to do 8 damage next turn. Right. And Matt's got about 8 cards left. And because Matt has to pay 1 to drain for each battle, like, he knows Hayes can't retrieve. So if you put out first strike, like if you put out the trooper and Hayes barriers it or something, you aren't down anything there. And if you're going to be to the point where you can't cause any more drain next turn or you can only cause like 1 or 2 force loss next turn, all right, so Matt just picks some up here. All right.
Guess he'll have it looks like he's gonna have another turn.
Yeah, and that might be the thing, is he thinks he thinks he'll have 1 more turn, and then it starts getting close because again, Decree is reducing those pings quite a bit. So looks like we saw all the drains. I think Matt's just deciding what to lose here, and yep. So yeah, if he'd have had Decree non-V as well, this would have been even with Menace Fades, he'd be doing pretty well. It was the first strike was the last card, so it was the thought process at least was there. And I think because the trooper will cost him 2 from Lost anywhere that there's not a first order leader, he just went for it. So now the question is, does he get Hayes low enough that he can't pay to drain enough to finish him off?
Well, looks like they're pretty much just getting ready to move on to the next game here.
Yeah, both of them know at this point it's just a drain race. and it's how much can Hayes cause. Looks like Hayes has enough to get him out. 3 to drain for 2. 3 to drain for 2. And then should be pings.
Yep.
All right, so Hayes wins by like 8, it looks
8 or
like.
9.
3,
Very.
4, 5, 6. 7 looks like, if you want to double check. That's close. That was a heck of a game by both players there. 7, perfect. So I'm gonna mute the mics here for a second while they finish up their stuff. We'll be on a short break and catch you guys in a couple. All right, folks, and we are back. Thank you for hanging with us. As I think I forgot to turn back on the short breaks. You just got to see the table for a little while.
Change the names.
I did actually, I think.
Oh, you did. Excellent.
Yeah, I did that before I walked away, just to make sure. So this is again going to basically be a rematch of the last round, which we saw Brian Fred win by about 16 force, which
Hayes was
means this is going to be close
at that point, right?
Yeah, Hayes just drew up at that point.
Or battled to lose force. Yeah.
Hayes chose to end the battle there, or end the game with Brian below 20 either way. But that's going to be a little bit harder when it's down by 7, and the lost pile differential was 5 cards. So Hayes is up by 5 lost cards if it gets to that point. This will be interesting. I think it'll depend a lot on Hayes's early draws. Like if Hayes doesn't get as character heavy of a hand as he really had, especially towards the end there, Matt could be in a decent position. This could be an interesting spot.
So it seems like a lot of the ability 3 characters they're running have some ability to draw on their own. So
yeah, I think probably Lando might be the only one that doesn't.
They had Baze, right?
Yeah, Baze doesn't as well. You're right. I forgot about Baze. So, because yeah, you've got Owen and Baru who can. I assume Jin is in the deck. We just didn't see her, or she didn't come into play.
Han draws on his own.
Han draws on his own and draws 2 on his own, or draws 2 if unable to otherwise with Chewie
or Leia.
Leia, yeah. And Leia's ability 4, so she draws except against Shizor, as we saw happen game 1. There's a Where's Han and a Son of Skywalker pull. So Matt's got a decent start. So this is... Can't really see. I didn't get to see Hayes' hand. We see him pulled the grabber. Matt hasn't pulled his grabber yet, but that's fine. And yep, you'll go to the Dagobah's lost. Where's Han goes used. Now I think we'll see a grabber. And Matt intentionally played those with the Where's Han first, because then Hayes could not have grabbed it. So whatever Hayes' first action is, he either activates 1 force or he pulls 1 grabber, and either way he can't grab the Where's Han, which is a used interrupt, and then there's no way he's grabbing the you'll go to the Dagobah system. But it's, again, sometimes those little things that don't feel like they're super impactful that actually are kind of impactful in the game. Let's see if I can...
Like Hayes might have had a dark time there. Or not a dark time, dark strike.
I think he's got one in the deck, yeah. I think there is a sniper combo in there, which, he's got guys, so... I mean, Hayes kind of had to stack in space, because when he went up there, B-Fred had pulled the wild card. So if Hayes doesn't stack enough in space...
I talk low sometimes, so
I'm trying to be loud. I don't talk low, but we're trying. So if Hayes doesn't stack enough in space, he runs the risk of, with Jedi Test 2, just getting kind of blown out with the wild card. The wild card with Captain Han and Chewie with guns suddenly is 2 if unable to otherwise, and +2 to the total, and you might actually be losing a bunch of things. And the Emperor adding 1 doesn't matter if you don't have 6 ability up there. So the Emperor might be the guy you don't see go on the shuttle.
I think he's gonna get there. It's just if Hayes wants to go fast, it kind of forces him to take off land kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it might end up being better. So he's got that Drain Pond in opening hand, along with sight. It might end up being better to not put the not put the Emperor on there and just leave the Emperor sitting at a site because it's hard to do that. So we see the Ender Shield cover up the icons. He uses both Ender Shield pulls right away to get Ozzel and Tarkin, or Thrawn. Random T word, whatever. And he puts Ominous Rumors down. He did not get, I think he must have activated Established Secret Base. So does he want to put down Ominous Rumors right away to try and get Established, or is he just going to wait a turn on it? And
he has to control for that, right?
He has to control to put down Established, so if he had put Ominous down, I don't think you have to control for Ominous.
Who did he put on there? Is that Boba Fett?
I think that's Boba. I think he went with the Boba in Slave 1 up there and just said okay. Because then
that'll draw
the shuttle with Ozzel will draw against Jedi Test 2.
Yeah. And does Fett draw if not able to?
No, Fett adds one. Fett's an add because he adds one while piloting Slave 1 or with Vader. Assuming Matt's deck is the same as Brian's, Matt has the wild card and a puller for the wild card, which is enough to keep. It forces Hayes to stay honest in space and put enough ability up there to not get blown out. Because honestly, if Hayes loses that Endor system, that's game over, I think. Like, if Matt takes the Endor system and can hold it, then Matt's the one not paying for drains, and Hayes is, and Hayes has to try and figure out how to handle that. Matt also got the Yoda's Hope, which is that definitely was an impact last game for Brian. Like, it took him an extra turn or two to get stuff going. Where Matt's going to be looking at, so he's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he needs a 4 to pass test 1. And there
Hayes goes just
deploys the shield
again.
Yeah.
Or the Jedi test.
Again, I mean, it was just on the other side of the table, so it's well within Hayes' reach. So I remember the Nationals in the Thunder Snow Nationals in Minnesota, where the stream table was in its own private space. We had our own private room, and so commentary was being done offsite. I was just running the stream, but the table was this big, like, conference room table.
Yeah.
And it was Hayes, who's approximately 27 feet tall, versus Batmouse, who's approximately 27 inches tall. And Hayes had to, like, reach all the way over to hand Batmouse a card to cut, or Batmouse would have had to, like, stand up and climb onto the table and do a little dance, as leprechauns are wont to do. And I'm praying he's listening to this right now.
I'm sure he's going to love it when he hears it.
If he isn't, I guarantee I'm going to catch crud later for this, and it was totally worth it. So, but yeah, it was just hilarious to watch that stream as Hayes is just stretching over the table, and, you know, it's just this, it was almost comically oversized for what it did, but it was perfect in the stream dungeon was its own little room, and there was no sound around it. The door was shut. It was just the players. So it worked super well, but it is not, you know, we got kind of lucky in the way they costed those rooms out, that doing that separate stream room cost us, I think it cost us $50 for the weekend. Like, well, because we were getting the other two big conference rooms, that third one was like, yeah, we can give you that one. And so we actually were supposed to get in on Friday, and we went in on Friday. There was like a hockey families in there, and as someone who's, you know, kids have played hockey and hockey families started to travel, they'd gone in there to watch a game, and it was like, how did you guys get in here? Oh, well, the door was open. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, have fun. Like, we got the room tomorrow, but have fun tonight. And, you know, it was a worthwhile thing. So looks like he's doing the Jedi test. Yeah, so Hayes did not pay to drain because we got Battle Order out there, and yeah, the 5 passes. So Matt says, I'm certainly not going to cancel and redraw with Yoda. Well, I think Yoda's Hope gives him 2 draws, so he might want to consider, like, all right, that 5 passes either way. So I can take my second draw and decide if I want to Yoda it into hand or not.
Yeah, that's a good point. I certainly played the what are we calling that? The scum card, like.
I don't need their scum, yeah.
Yeah, so like I used it to pretty good effect yesterday playing against EOPS. With just the lone slave one, you can just keep
Yep.
canceling their drain.
So we're seeing Chris say he does have to draw 2 either way. So he looks like did he cancel and take that into hand?
I think he did.
Oh, I don't like that play.
Failed the Jedi test.
Although he's gonna get to.
And now Hayes, or it's too late. Hayes didn't pay for it anyway. So.
Yeah, Hayes didn't pay for the drain. I don't think Hayes was going to pay for the drain either way. And it's a drain of 2 either way because it's not a +1 from Endar. Like, it wouldn't have impacted the drain at all. It impacts the drains at the sites.
It would have canceled. Like, the interrupt he took in the hand cancels.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah. Does it as a cancel if it's just a lone slave one?
Yeah, lone slave one.
I should read cards. I didn't even remember that. So it does because it comp scan cancels the lone falcon drain. So interesting. Okay. So he grabs the shuttle with the ominous rumors drop, which makes sense. We see Ozzel for the establish, which flips him. He can use establish to go get a site if he wants to. He did just look at his force pile, so if the site's in there, he knows he's not going to get one, so he won't waste the shuffle. I think he's got to throw the shuttle down and move Ozzel up and just. There's the Tarkin's bounty.
There was an Emperor in there as well, I think.
That could be. And honestly, he could do. So he did this against me in our game yesterday. He dropped the Emperor.
They played the political effect again. What is Hayes playing that causes them to want to do that?
Let's.
Or the political defensive shield, sorry.
Yeah. All right, I don't remember what that card is called.
It's like real little power or something?
Yeah. Little real power. That's the interrupt.
That's the underlying card. Or the dark side. You know what? I happen to have a set of shields here.
Good enough. Well, we'll let you look that up and check because I'm curious what. So I'm wondering, Hayes did not. Yeah, so Hayes put the shuttle down, put the Emperor on it for free to save himself the force, and then had the Emperor jump off. Oh no, he's going to take him off. So. All right, so there we see the grab of. Matt used the I don't need their scum to go get Hujix. And that might be sense combo. Yep, that would be it.
There we go.
It's if you're worried about the sense combo and that's a reasonable thing, you're setting up your hand. That's a solid. It also, I think that would in theory also protect against scanning crew. He did it on stream yesterday, so they think it's, So yeah, Hayes brought Palpatine up with the Boba Fett as well.
Want it there.
All right, so Matt does also get to Jedi test on his turn. He does only get to draw one. However, he does the Yoda cancel to take Sabine Wren Padawan into hand, or Sabine Padawan, whatever. And so he passes the test there. And now we'll see. He's going to grab something. Oh, he took a look probably for the other Dagobah site, maybe. Yep, there's a Jin in there. I don't see. He does have a rescue in the clouds. Might be 2. And he's got the local defense combo, but I didn't see wildcard in there, so it might be in his force pile right now, which gives him at least something to think about. At this point, you got to deploy test 2. And are you going to just start throwing guys at Cloud City? And
did he miss the site pool?
He missed the Dagobah site pull, yeah. There's test 2. He's going to deploy it himself instead of letting Hayes reach over and do it. I think he's got Han. He had a Leia's gun in reserve. Like I moved my head this way to try and look at stuff.
It doesn't. The angle doesn't change.
No, it really doesn't. But I feel like it should, and I don't need to be pointed out that it makes me an idiot. I'm okay with that.
I'm doing the same thing. So
there we see Han come down with his gun and Leia coming down and pulling reflection. So he's potentially playing this a little different than Brian, but it might also come down to, like, Brian I don't think found Han until much later. There's the golden droid. That's going to make a difference. That ping is going to start to add up. Because Brian lost his 3PO on, like, turn 1. I think he lost it to, like, the very first drain.
Did he lose it from hand? Like, he just made the choice not to deal with it?
Yeah, and I think that was in retrospect, I think that was a very poor choice. So, and Hayes moves the test 2 over, which doesn't really matter because test 3 deploys on the jungle. It's not like he can't deploy it and then move to it. So it doesn't really change anything. Like I'd usually leave it there to force him to pay 1 to move Son of Skywalker over. Like, they're not going to move Yoda. It's fine. You just have to be there. So let's see if Hayes chooses to pay to drain now. I mean, Hayes' hand is not that good, honestly. It's 2 characters, one of which is Dr. E, and I think the other is Thrawn, and a pile of red cards. Like, that's really not ideal. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I feel like he might. I didn't see what characters he had besides Dr.
So the Dr. E he's had from the get-go, and the other card is the Thrawn he pulled. Ooh, local defense combo off the top. Stings a little bit. There's the Jedi test. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 5 should pass.
Yeah.
Yep, so we saw he did the draw 2, took 1 into hand with Yoda, but he kept the 5 that he was passing, and now he's got the 6 ability requirement. Although Dr. E and Ponda get around that.
It looks like maybe he's coming down with him.
I'm not
or is he
sure.
going to go with Grand Admiral Thrawn here?
Yeah, maybe.
Or not.
No, he can't just put Thrawn alone because Thrawn no longer draws Battle Destiny. Oh, so he also has Shizor. That's the third. So there's a third guy in there. So Shizor at least draws if unable to otherwise.
I think you want to
All right, so he's putting Thrawn on
the shuttle.
The shuttle, or on Slave 1.
Okay.
So now he's got 7 ability up there, and then you can land the shuttle. And now, do you land it at the docking bay, or do you land it at the? Yeah, you land it at the Drain 2 site.
With the bonuses canceled?
Well, sure, if you want to play it that way. Yes, the bonuses are canceled, but maybe he'll get them back eventually. It's not like he has mobilization points or established control, the single greatest card design ever, to get the extra activation at the docking bay. So
if it incentivizes Matt to attack into him, it gives Matt the Drain 2 site without having them move.
See, you have to assume Matt has heard from Brian that there's probably no Force Lightnings or unlikely to be Force Lightnings. And in fact, I think Matt didn't get a verify, I don't think, yet. So it opens up the question a little bit of, does Matt play to go after it, worrying about the Force Lightning? Does he do something along the lines of trying to just take it out with, like, maybe drop Luke and exclude down to just Palpatine and see what we've got? We see the 2 loss come off the top to the drain, or the 2 pings. So we got the blaster ping and the Leia ping, or the 3PO ping, and then a drain of 3 going through there. Yeah, it's not the Palp that pulls Force Lightning, so he'd have to have it, and that might be why they're not in the deck. So now we see Matt play test 3. I think you got to find that other Dagobah site if it's in there. Yep. Because 5 pulls it. 5 gets it, not 6.
I'm sure Hayes knows much better than I do, but I think I would have just kind of taken the damage for a turn, left Pat, and like drawn to get characters.
See, I think what he set up there is perfectly fine. I like how he set that up. You set up a site in a system, so you're occupying battle plan, you're getting your 3 drain in. That's the best you could hope for, but both of those sites are very safe. Like, he can't go at you in space, and going at you at the ground is difficult when you have the fully immune Palpatine. Like, you can't guarantee, and you've got forfeit 5 from the shuttle, forfeit 4 from Ozzel. 2 of your guns are locked in there, and they might be the only 2 guns you have. And Luke's saber is still on Dagobah. Like, I think what Hayes might have to worry about, and why he might be holding on to the Force Lightning, is, hey, Justin, good to see you popping in here. Like, what Hayes has to be holding on to the Force Lightning for is, if Matt pulls up Luke and then drops him on Palpatine and excludes down to just Palpatine and tries to cause some damage. Like, that would be the...
we just talked about no Force Lightning, right? So...
No, not the Force Lightning. It's a Force push. So if he drops Luke down, he can exclude it, so it's just Luke versus Palpatine. And then he hits Palpatine and potentially causes overflow, where he doesn't have to worry about that with... if Luke battles Palpatine and Luke excludes, he can then just force push out of it and avoid the overflow and then move away. That would be the only, like, that might be what he's holding on to. Because otherwise, like, Palpatine is good, and he can be obnoxious to deal with, but the Destiny in Matt's deck and the fact that he can cycle one, or he can cancel and redraw always with Yoda, and then if he battles Palpatine, he's Destiny -1 with Domain of Evil, because it'll be a battle with Luke alone. And then he's subtracting 2 from the attrition, so it back to, like, anything other than a 7, Luke lives. And it just, you risk taking overflow there in a bad way. So there's Kylo alone. You got to put someone with him. Okay, Kylo and Dr. E. So Dr. E draw if unable to otherwise, which means if Kylo gets, snipered out or something, you still are drawing a Battle Destiny, because, like, Chewie Protector would be the only possible problem with that, and you don't have Chewie Protector in here, and you also don't have a guy with a lightsaber to go after Kylo, except if you want to get Luke. That being said, I think at some point Matt's going to flip and go get Luke to start going after somebody, and it's really just a question of who and where. I think, Justin, the issue is moving Forlom, you run the risk of him getting hurt, and what you want is to verify your... what you want is Forlom cycling your cards, especially because he's got a handful of red. Like, because Forlom doesn't move the needle for insurance. Like, he can't he doesn't protect anybody. If you kill Kylo or you kill Dr. E, you're not getting Battle Destiny anyways. So Forlom just would soak up a little bit of forfeit and prevent you from getting your tracking going. So I see the thought process. I think I like the way Hayes stayed with it, and especially now that he went and got the gig, he's fine. So, and that was one thing he had to play differently in the game against Brian, where he went and searched for that Gik, and the Gik was the one force he used to masterful move. So he had to take the Phantom Menace and adjust his plan on the fly there, which I think he did very well, but it was a struggle. So I don't see a Sari combo in Matt's hand. I see a Captain Han. I think you still are just you're picking up Luke. It's just, where are you going to go with it? Oh, maybe not. There's an Ahsoka.
I mean, Hayes lost off the top of the deck anyway.
He did.
No, there wasn't Was there a drain?
There hasn't been a drain yet. He peeled to the Blaster Ping and the 3PO Ping. Okay. So it's... The Ahsoka's actually going to make that interesting because she's immune to Kylo. I'd like him to have some sort of answer beyond that, but just Ahsoka down there, start a battle, retrieve one with reflection, and you're going to kill one of those guys, and now Hayes has to decide, because leaving just Dr. E alone there is kind of scary. So... And I think Matt could also, if he decides to go with just Ahsoka, you come down then with, where he's got Ahsoka and Sabine. So, yeah, he's perfectly fine with a lot of things he could go on there. And yeah, Ahsoka plus Sabine there is, that could be rough. So, because you're effectively immune to, Ahsoka's effectively fully immune, and then Sabine's immune to less than 5. I think she's less than 3. But then you subtract 2 from the attrition, plus Ahsoka goes with the... Sabine's less than 3, I think.
Ability 2?
Sabine's ability 4. Sabine Padawan's a 4/4.
Oh, we're talking about that one.
And immune to permanent weapons. Yeah, this one plays the Sabine Padawan, who's ability 4. Sabine with her gun, I played yesterday in Rebel Strike Team because she's a scout, and she put in serious work a couple games. I had her actually once with Leia's gun, shooting a bunch of people in the bunker and then causing damage for winning the battle with her and Aura Marco. It was fun stuff.
There's Sabine.
There's Sabine Padawan, Princess. There's Ahsoka. Yeah, if he's got the Ahsoka's saber, which we know Brian had. Oh, yeah, new Sabine plus Ahsoka saber could be solid. I don't think he has the saber. I still think I start the battle, though. I still think I start the battle, and then I think I might take Luke into hand to flip, because he can deploy as a react. Yep, so he pays 1 to start the battle, pays 1 to retrieve with reflections, or does he not retrieve with reflection? No, he does. I'm just checking, does it need to be a CC rebel or just any rebel? So Kylo will swing his lightsaber just impotently. There's a 5. Hayes draws a 3, which Sabine subtracts to make a 2, and Yoda reduces the attrition to 0. So Matt loses no one. And Matt, it's probably fine in power. So it's 611 to... I think power, Matt probably won by 1. And yeah, that's that's again a much better start than Brian had. Like Brian went to Endor and took over some things, but he did that because Hayes wasn't coming to Cloud City. Yeah, Matt, Kylo's just stood there holding his stick, looking very angry and petulant in a emo kid sort of way. But he didn't really do anything with it beyond that, so. Alright, so we see the drain of 1 and 2. So now the drain of 1 went off, which would be why you would have kept, potentially kept Luke on table, although if you picked him up, he deploys cheap as a react with the objective. I think there's only one Hera. You just kind of keep seeing her. All right, so getting Dr. E back with the... I thought he did get the Saber as a react to the drain, Chris. I thought it was you could deploy both. So... yeah, may deploy Luke and or a weapon on him as a react. So he could do that as a react, but he might just not want to do that. Like... Oh.
I
When
feel
Luke
like
is
you could
deployed to the
save
drain
Luke.
is now canceled and you can't get the Saber. Alright, then why would it be and? Like, that feels like a timing ruling that maybe was not the intent of the card and just needs to be clarified. Yeah, it works for a battle, but not as a drain. Okay, that makes more sense. Like, that, alright. Because, yeah, once the drain is canceled, you lose you can't react with the Saber, although then, if you cancel the drain and they battle Luke, you could then react with Luke's Saber. So, I mean, Hayes has got to decide. Getting the Dr. E back was nice, but where are you going to go with him that's going to have an impact? Are you just going to... Because you can't just necessarily give up Kylo that easily. So there's Tyrannus at Leia's hut, or Dooku at Leia's hut, which makes sense. Like, you're not... Somebody apparently just nudged our camera. So, like, Matt wants them there. You don't have a Force Lightning to worry about, so you're not... Camera's still okay. So, Robbie, our tech support, is coming to make sure the camera didn't go crazy. $5, it was Brian Fred.
He is the one standing over there.
Look, Chris, I'm not in a area where I want to take sucker bets, so I'm not gonna bet against that. So we see Shizor came down with the shuttle, and I guess now he's deploying Shizor to the next site. Yeah, so Dooku can force push either way. Like, it's fine. You're not... So Ozzel jumped on the shuttle and is then going to take off for... I think to avoid maybe getting stuck in a clash-like battle. Luke into Shizor seems really bad, Justin, because Luke is only ability 5. So Luke would not draw Battle Destiny against Shizor. Yep, so he moves Kylo to the prison, and I think if you're Matt, you're perfectly okay with that. Like one of the 47 eras. So, okay, yeah, not alone is a different...
But if he's alone, then you get test 3?
Yeah, if he's alone, you get test 3. If he's not alone, you do not get test 3. That's where I think the play you want to consider is Luke into Palpatine or Dooku, force out the force push, and then do it a name.
I thought what he was going to do last turn was pull up Luke, maybe drain to get the force off the top,
and then throw Luke at the shuttle site where he would have felt relatively safe, I think.
Yeah, you throw Luke at the shuttle site, battle the Emperor, do just the Emperor, take him out, or he force pushes, and then you're still in the same boat of, okay,
I
well.
mean, I would have tried to clear the site, I think. Like, hit the Emperor and then draw high enough to clear the other two things. The shuttle alone isn't, like, that much of a nuisance.
Yes, I think I would have gone for the... I think I might have gone for the Emperor kill, and then had the...
I mean, Hayes still would have had a battleground site, but it was a site that you could have shuffled your guys between.
Yeah. I'm just concerned you don't, because his deck is all 5s, you don't clear that site with a battle destiny of 5, because the shuttle will just forfeit for 5, and then Ozzel stays there. So if you instead do the solo battle against Palpatine, you kill Palpatine, and then he's got to reinforce, and then you can look at potentially clearing the site.
So it would have came down to the same thing, except that he would have...
He would have potentially overflowed Palpatine once.
Okay, I see.
First. Yeah. And then Hayes has to reinforce with, like... That's where you run the risk, though, with he had Shizor. You run the risk of him reinforcing with Shizor. Now that Shizor is in play, you don't have to worry about it. So Matt just throws Luke at the Belden's Eye site to give him another drain of 2 off the top. It puts a saber there. I'm almost wondering if... I almost think I would have put Luke with Leia and then moved Han over with Sabine. And gone for the... So then you've got a gun at each site for an extra blaster ping. And yeah, I do think he's trying to at least consider trapping Kylo. Like, if you put Luke there, and now you move Sabine and Ahsoka in against Kylo, like, what is he going to do? And I think you could get away with just moving Ahsoka in. Like, you don't necessarily need Sabine in there as well. You know, and if you get the... Where are we seeing? So there's Rey to Dooku. I'm wondering what he's trying to grab. If there was a certain card he's looking for with Rey. Because Rey by herself is probably not killing Dooku. I guess Rey could, because she's +1 to the total. So if you're drawing a 5, Rey would kill Dooku. Because Dooku's immune to 6. So Rey alone does kill Dooku. That's perfectly reasonable. So, and there's 3PO moving over, and he moves everybody in front of Dooku. Excuse me. I understand leaving Kylo alone, like, he's not doing anything there, so you're not really worried about him, and you just lock the site so he can't move him out. I don't know that I would have hated moving Ahsoka into there to threaten, but I think it's fine either way. I like how Justin says this all makes sense. There's a whole bunch of sites this is like a whole deck type he's not seen because it just came out like 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, I mean, he's getting drained for 4. Like, it's the Jedi Test 1's putting in work. Like, it's drain a 4 and say okay. So, and he's got a handful of cards. And we see a couple come off the top. Like, Matt's still in a pretty good position here. Like, it's a little hard to get a good count just of sleeves. Like, Hayes is low enough that he activated everything. So that adds up a little bit on its own. You have to start going, okay, where are we going with this? And I think Hayes has to try and maximize damage, and I'm wondering if the guy he's actually trying to trap more was Dooku, because if he forces Dooku to move away, like now you can look at following, and you're still draining hard while you do that. Like, Hayes is draining, so Matt's damage is going to be, I think, 2, 2, and 2 effectively. So it'll be, I think it's a drain of 2 with Luke with the saber because of resistance. It's a drain of 2 with Leia and reflection, and then it's a ping with the good blaster and a ping with 3PO. So his max damage, he's damaging 6 a turn. So yeah, Justin, I think you and I are in agreement. I think Luke going to Cloud City was turn this into a drain race, where I think Luke on Endor, you're at least seriously threatening I'm going to wipe you off of all your drain locations, because now he is facing drains of 2, 1, 1, 1 next turn. But so the one thing is, Hayes is going to have to consider those drains of 4 are all going to come off reserve. He's only got like 5 or 6 cards in reserve. So yeah, Justin, I think we're generally in agreement there. I think Matt may have played this a little too passively for my taste. I think he's willing to try and turn this into a race that he doesn't need to turn it into a race. He could have done more killing of guys first, because he can also get those guys back by putting the tests and stuff out of play. Like, getting rid of test 3 is a non-issue. You lose test 3 to get Luke back after he does some killing, and you're perfectly happy with that. And then you can turn a card on Patience, I think, to get Anakin's saber back, and like you're in a good shape. But yeah, I do think Matt's in a pretty good spot. So we see the Applic from hand, and we're going to see one more card from hand for the ping. Up first, we're seeing a Forlam. That from reserve text might actually, well, he's got a force push to get out of if he goes after Dooku or Palpatine. And Shizor's a little harder to go after. The lose from... Yes, the objective is, it's basically Mosep. So there went Vader and... Okay, so Hayes did count correctly, but there went both the Vaders that are in his deck. That's crazy. So it's... Justin, the new Mind What You Have Learned says, when it's on the 7 side, when you drain with a Cloud City icon character or rebel, 4 strands out of battleground. Yep, there we go. CRG. Thank you, Matt. Throwing it in chat. So, like, I would love to just see Owen and Baru into Shizor right here. Like, you've got a 5. So Owen and Baru draw if unable to otherwise. So Shizor's text is not impactful at all. So you just drop Owen and Baru on Shizor, draw Battle Destiny, kill him, and move on. And then I think you figure out how do you move to lock Dooku in somewhere. So we see the search, so he knows he's got a 5, which is what he needs to kill Dooku, or to kill Shizor. And that'll also get him 1 back with reflections for starting the battle. So does Justin know what his destiny is there? Like, this might be where you want to set for stun.
I think the set for stun is lost.
The set for if he lost the set for stun. Yeah, if he's got a Dark Time V, that would be like a Dark Time V would keep Shizor alive, and mean Matt just effectively played Owen and Baru to retrieve a card and lost Owen and Baru, which is not a huge, like, if it's just a net 0, it's not the worst thing ever. So there's the Battle Destiny of 5. I don't think Hayes had a Dark Time card in his deck. I don't think he had Dark Time in his deck.
I don't think so either.
And there was a 5, so if he'd had the set for stun, he could have sent Leia back, or he could have sent Owen and Baru back. But there went Shizor. Hayes is down to like 6 cards. Matt's in a real good spot here, I think. So now Matt's got to decide how to. Yep, I like that. You move Luke there. I would consider moving Han there as well, but maybe not. You don't necessarily need to. So he's going to get drained for 4 here. There's the 3PO pull. And he's got enough cards in hand. Like, I think Matt's in a pretty good spot. Oh, he's got the keep your eyes open too, just in case. I don't think he needs it though.
Yeah.
Like, Hayes can no longer deploy. Hayes can't deploy Maul anymore. He just flat doesn't have the force. There went the Hujix from hand. Honestly, I think at this point you lose the Hera. Like, that looks like a character. I don't know if it was Hera. Yeah, the Owen and Baru for Shizor is a great trade. Oh, there was a Hera. Now I see what Justin's talking about. It does look like there's a lot of Heras floating around. Justin took his SWU money and bought a big TV so he can see these things a lot clearer than we can on this little thing. So, see, Justin, this is what we talked about at regionals. It's still a family. Like, you may have walked away for a little while and maybe focusing on another game, but we're here to have fun and smile. Like, I came to Ohio to spend the weekend playing games with friends. Like, I went 5-3, I was happy, but like at the end of the day, this is more fun. This is what I'm here for, is to hang out with friends and play games. So, like, we're just seeing a little bit of counting and Hayes trying to figure out if he's got if he has the time to get the damage through, because if he leaves nothing in reserve, he can lose to the drains from hand because it's reserve if possible. But like, if he leaves nothing in reserve, Dooku's in a bad spot wherever he is.
He's holding the force push.
Yeah. But he's going to have to lose enough cards that, like, that might be down to the last card he has left. So, and then can he do enough damage to get ahead of Matt? Because Matt's going to do, again, drain for, I think it's going to be cause 6 more damage. So that's going to be like every card in Hayes' hand. And
I see a Maul.
Yeah,
as we were saying, he doesn't really have.
He doesn't have enough left to play Maul, I don't think.
I could see him just walking in front of Sabine's site with Kylo and just kind of.
So he had exactly 7 that he just spent to throw Maul. Yeah, I don't. If you throw Maul, you can't do anything. Like, it looks like, yeah, Luke moved in front of Dooku, so Dooku's sitting there. Like, if you throw Maul down, I'm almost wondering why he played the tentacle. Like,
to grab something, probably.
Yeah, I don't know that Matt's going to play any more interrupts, though. Like, I'm not sure he can force Matt to play any more used interrupts that would impact that. Yeah, it might be for the shuffle more than anything, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, so if he puts him in front of the Sabines, he gets nothing. He's got the Gick and Sniper in hand, but he's going to be down to. You can't put him in front of Han, or he just gets shot in control phase. And if you put him in front of the Sabines, he can't target either of them. So where are you putting him? Are you going to put him at the Drain 1 site on Endor and get nothing? Like, yeah, Matt's definitely got 15 cards left. He's got a chunk of cards left. I think Hayes might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Hayes needs to drain 2 more times?
I think so. Yeah, the Han control phase gun is a problem, because that would be the site where you in theory put him, is at the site with Leia and Han, and but like, he's got 4 dudes there. You're not doing any good there, even with the Sniper and Gick. Like, It's so I have Bill here talking in my ear and confusing me. So we see that there's drain. So we see Drain Ponda at the one site. I think Hayes is trying to just math out the can he get there. Um, if he can last 2 turns, I think he might get there, especially with that extra drain of 1. But that's gonna be real close.
Is that Blizzard 4 up with Ozzel?
Not sure. So all right. So Hayes battled.
Battles.
Well, that's fine because he's got the Destiny in reserve, but it's got to be a 7. And even then, a 7, he's going to make it a 6 with Domain, and then he's going to turn it into a 4 with
4 for attrition. Anyway.
4 for attrition. But if he tracking us to subtract 1, oh, he didn't. They're tracking us so it's a 7. He subtracts 1. I'm surprised because I think that's going to cost him Luke. Oh, there. So there he says we're tracking us. Hayes grabs it, but now it means with the Jedi test, Luke survives. So it's a 7. It becomes a 6. It becomes a 5, and then you subtract 2 from the attrition. It becomes a 3, and Luke's immune to less than 4.
That might be that.
I think that's definitely that because that adds another 2 damage.
I would have
to Matt's count.
I think you guys Hayes needed to leave Dooku just sitting in front of him and let Luke battle in to block the damage.
The thing is, he wouldn't have had a reserve deck. He would have had to kick out of it because if he doesn't, he wouldn't have had the 7 there, and he would have been losing the 4 cards in reserve from the. Yeah, it was the right grab by Hayes to just grab it and stop it from happening again, but I think it might be too late because, yeah, the drain from reserve would have shut him down to Hayes doesn't have any more cards to, like, he doesn't have a Destiny he knows will kill Luke, and then you're actually risking overflow even more than if Luke is only power 5, I think. I think he's fine with it's 10 to 10. He's okay with there. It's real close, and yeah, it is Blizzard 4 hanging with Ozzel, so he does have 6 ability there.
Yeah, I mean, like, at this
So there
juncture,
we see activate 1 and then shuffle and.
What characters would Matt have left? Oh, he can place
He
the
can go
thing out of
get
play
a
to
Cloud
go
City,
get a character.
which would be potentially just Chewie, but
Lando.
Chewie might be enough. Orlando, yeah. I was saying Chewie might be enough, but he could place test 3 out of play to go get one. So first things first is going to be the 3PO ping and then good blaster ping. And looks like Matt might be. Oh no, he's just moving the card in his hand around. So Hayes did force the shuffle, and I don't think Matt can always go and look at it. Yeah, that could be Matt at 16, and then Matt just needs to win by 8, and Hayes is starting to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think he's going to be about out. Like, especially with getting that extra drain with Luke. Like that extra drain of 2 is actually going to be, I think, real impactful because it's also going to take all the cards out of his reserve. And then Hayes can do 5, depending on what Matt's got. And there went the Gick, but I don't think that's going to be super impactful now. Oh, double 7. Okay. Yep, so that's going to be. Do you drain 1 more? So the last one does not have to come off reserve because it's Sabine, and 3PO. He searches, and a 1 and a 4. Those are not necessarily what he wants. Did he not drain at the last site? Does he have a character in hand to go after somebody? Like, yeah, you can redraw with Yoda. Like, you're okay, and then okay, so he's just throwing Jin down in front of Dr. E. So he's actually going to battle. He's going to retrieve one with reflection, and then lose Jin. Dr. E's going to die, and you've reduced the drain by 1, and you're fine. You've reduced his drains by 1, and that's all that matters. So, like, I'm not even necessarily sure you redraw that. Okay, he did choose to take into hand and redraw, just so he didn't risk overflow. As I guess, yeah, there's 11, so if he doesn't, he would have also potential. And yeah, he could also burn test 3 to take Luke back into hand. So there's Jin. Hayes shows off his hand as Jin dies. And we see an okay. And yeah, I think if you're Matt, you might actually do you drain. Yep, there he's losing a Jedi test to grab Lando. And Hayes will, yeah, and lose another Jedi test right away to hit a layer. Oh, Chewie. Okay.
That's interesting. Now Kylo can draw.
Yeah, but
I don't think it'll matter.
Kylo can draw, but are you going to put Kylo? The only place Kylo can go is move in front of Sabine and Sabine, which is a drain of 2, but it's not off reserve, and you're probably still losing the battle there. Like, Kylo can draw, but the drains of 4 are going to come off reserve.
He's just blocking the battle, right?
Yeah, but the drains of 4 are going to come off reserve. So I don't think he can. Sabine and Ahsoka, yeah, but like I don't think he can. Even if he uses all his force, the drains of 4 off reserve might just kill him. Like, I don't think
He has nothing in reserve, though, at the moment.
He has no reserve at the moment, which is what potentially keeps him alive one more turn. But again, Matt chose not to drain and instead to play Jin. So it should still be a drain of 6 and then 2 pings of 1. Like, I'm actually a little surprised Matt did not.
Not enough.
I was a little surprised Matt didn't move Han over with Luke last turn. He saved 2 force. Alright, so we see Hayes trying to spread. He's just like, okay, I'm going to get to do 1 more damage as he lands. And then there's 1 to keep Blizzard 4 alive. Although Matt has no cards in hand, I'm not sure he's needed to do that. Let's see.
I think he had about 13 there.
Yep, so there's 2. There's 1 off reserve and 1 from anywhere. There's 2 to drain for 2. I mean, if Kylo moves over, you see he's got no reserve deck, so Kylo's now power 5 against 9-ish plus a Destiny. I think Sabine and 9 plus a Destiny, so you're probably getting overflowed. And then I think you need to... Did he ping at all or no? Yeah, he must have... He did the pings. And there went... I think Matt's got it.
Or a tie?
No, I think Matt's got it. There's the handshake. I think he was... Wow. Amazingly played, Matt Scott. Congratulations. Thank you. Matt Scott, our world champion. Generally, I know they try and do some sort of interview. National champion. Yeah, I'm bad at interviews. I think we're going to let Matt relax. And amazing run by Hayes as well. making it to another final. Well played, everybody. Thank you, Barry, for hanging out with me. Thank you.
Ran away.
Yeah, Barry's like, I'm done with you. So thank you, Barry and Casey, earlier today for hanging out with me. Thanks for Dan for doing the commentary yesterday. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you to Chris Schoenthal, our amazing tournament director. Thank you to all of the active judges today. Thank you to Robbie, our tech guy. And again, thank you all for coming out here. Next big event is Worlds in October, the first weekend in October in the lovely city of Seattle, Washington. And I hope everybody can come out and it'll be a great event. But until then, thank you all, and may the force be with you.